Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Kendell, and I'm going to tell you my story, why I think every day above ground is a good one. I was born and raised here in Clearwater, Florida, and my dad was from New Zealand. He came over here, met my mom, who is in the audience tonight, and they stayed here in Clearwater and wanted to start a family. My dad was a sailor, of course, being from New Zealand. So, as my dad being a sailor, of course, he got my brother and I into sailing. I actually started when I was 7 years old in Clearwater. We loved everything on the water. Fishing, wakeboarding, surfing as we got older, and sailing, of course. There we go. That's my dad there. And of course, I said fishing was a big thing for us. We kind of got out of sailing when I was around 12 years old and wanted to get into other sports. So I actually went to Clearwater High School, and I remember playing football here back in the late 90s. So graduated Clearwater High in 1999. And wanted to be a pilot. My dad said, I think this would be a great career for you. I said, let's do it. So got my pilot's license when I was 16 and worked at airports in high school and then went on to USF and was working at airports there while I was building hours for flight. Wanted to graduate from USF and become a pilot and go to pilot school.
Losing the leg certainly was a big change for me because I was 23 when the accident happened, so I knew what real legs are. Went on a flight one day in our airplane, any normal day, and we were in a plane crash. I lost both my legs, lost my dad, and a good friend of mine who was my flight instructor.
They kept pouring water down there, and of course the plane was on fire, extremely hot. They couldn't do any more. It was just too hot for them to be near the plane, and then they had stepped back from the plane, hearing this young man, and evidently Brad got his arms up through the crack in the plane, and they ran back and literally jerked him out of the plane, and 40 seconds later the plane blew up.
Of course, they're saying both pilots had died. And then they said one critically injured person was being air vac'd out. And I saw this person go by on a gurney, and it was just like, dark, and I didn't think it was Brad because I thought Brad might be flying. Brad and Bruce would be flying, and they said both pilots were dead. So I got on the phone, and they said, we have a Brad Kendell here. So I knew Bruce was gone, but I didn't lose my child that day.
So the plane crash happened. We were coming in on final, and wind shear hit us, put us straight up and straight down. As you heard in the story by my mom, the plane caught on fire right away. We landed in the driveway of a house, didn't even slide. And of course, I was unconscious at first, and came to, and I was able to get out, as my mom said in the video. I was flown to Tampa General Hospital, where I spent a month and a half sedated with internal issues, the legs, of course, and burns. So after a month and a half, I finally came to, and about 3 months later, I was able to sit up and, kind of realize what happened. Learning that I lost my dad and a friend of mine, and my legs were kind of third to that. It was them first. That was the hardest thing. But I knew I couldn't give up, and that's when I started realizing that we needed to make every day above ground a good one. So I was doing that for them. So I wanted to get back to life. I worked out. I got strong again. I started going out with my friends and family. They would not let me quit. And then I learned to walk again. As you can see, I'm in the chair right now. That's because of some circumstances, but I will be walking again soon, hopefully. So walking was a chore. I mean, it was hard to do, but I wanted to do it. I never wanted to give up, and it got me back to life. Started getting back out with my friends and family again and having fun. Got to throw a first pitch at a baseball game. Walking up and doing the Red Bull Flutog in Tampa, where my buddies pushed me off in that boat, about 35 feet up in the air. I was flying again, you know, it was fun. Landed in Tampa Bay. Got to go around the Vegas Speedway for a little bit in a race car. So just getting back to stuff like that, you know. Wanted to have fun like we used to, but always thinking of my dad and my good friend who I lost. Got back to doing events that I did when I had legs, just doing them in a different way. And being in the water, like I said, when I was growing up, was one of the best things that we did. It was part of my childhood and loved it very much. Fishing, of course, was there, and we did that all the time. Yeah, that's a big tarpon right there. Fishing with my daughter. I had my daughter in 2010, and she is here in the audience as well with my mom, Piper. My mom, Patty, and my daughter, Piper. So sailing, you know, was in my blood. So I got back into it. A good friend of ours said, Brad, you were a pretty good sailor when you were younger. There's a team in St. Pete that are trying out for the U.S. sailing team, and they need another member. I said, all right, I'll go for it. Went down there and met them. We went out for a sail, came back to the dock. They said, you're on the team. I said, fantastic. What do we do? They said, well, it's 4 years of training and working hard and trying to get to the Paralympics. I said, all right, let's do it. Got back into sailing big time. Big boats, small boats, but we sailed on a 23-foot boat called a sonar. We did that in 2005 to 2008. Had a great time sailing with the team, but we did split up after 2008 because we were the third U.S. team. They only take one. So we split up. My other teammates actually went on and did very well in the next Paralympics, and I joined another team. So we were the number one U.S. team in 2009 to 2012, the next quad for the Paralympics. Leading up 3-4 years, we were number one and got to the trials in 2012 for the London Games. And we sailed very, very bad and did not make it. We lost, and that was that hurt a lot. That really knocked us down because we trained so hard, and it was a lot of traveling and a lot of time away from family. So I took a year off. I wanted to spend time with family, but always thinking, you know what? I think we could really do this. So the guys called me back up. They go, Brad, we really want you back on the team. I said, all right, let's do it. So another campaign of 4 years of training and traveling and working very hard. We won our world championships 3 months before the games in 2016. The games in 2016 were in Rio. We wanted to go to Rio. London was okay, England was okay, but it was Rio was fantastic. So we went over there and trained after we won the world championship, after we knew we were the team going to the games in Rio. It took a lot. We have to ship the boats over there. We have to ship our gear. We have to ship the sails, but there we are in Rio. We trained for months before the actual games because we had to learn the tides, the wind, and everything that comes with sailing. It was a great experience. Loved every minute of it. We had a blast. And we did what we needed to do when we came back to the U.S. and we won a silver medal. Thank you. So the final race, we had to beat one team. It was New Zealand. Australia had pretty much won the regatta. They were getting gold, and we had to beat New Zealand so Canada could place third. Canada was our training partner. A neat little story about this. So, of course, Nike and Polo were our big sponsors, and we had to wear the gear. The podium shoes were those yellow Nike shoes, and I had to wear them. We were going to the podium. We won silver medal. So I glued them and tied them down to my base plate because I was not wearing the legs at the time. So they made the podium. My brother Sean was there in Rio. It was fantastic having him there. And then my other teammates. And our coach, Mike Ingham, he helped us along the way for 4 years and was one of our strongest teammates and our partner and our good friends. There's the Canadians, our partners, our training partners here in Clearwater, actually. And it really helped having them along with us and then actually finishing second and third, silver and bronze in Rio. So getting through all this, you know, you wake up and you realize you were in a plane crash. You lost your legs, you lost your dad, you lost a good friend of yours. What do? You want to make every day above ground a good one. We did, and we accomplished what we wanted to do. We had fun doing it, and to have that goal that we set and we accomplished to represent the U.S. was one of the most fantastic things we could ever do. Getting to meet a president, not too many people get to do that. Doesn't matter who they are, it's just a cool experience. You can tell by that picture that I'm pretty exhausted. It was a lot of racing, 7 days, and we were very, very excited, but I was really emotional because I was thinking of my dad the whole time. So they took sailing out of the Paralympics in 2016. We were actually the last U.S. team to sail in the Paralympics. So I partly retired and got back into everything that we love to do before sailing and while sailing. Of course, fishing, like I said before when we were younger. Fishing with my daughter, loved doing that, having family time. Got back into skiing again, having fun doing that, doing the sit ski, and some deep powder there too. Hitting the jumps, and actually skiing is part of the reason why I'm in the chair. I broke my arm skiing a couple years ago. So what did I do? I didn't get down. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I got back into other sports. Started pickleball. Having a blast doing that. Tried sled hockey, which is actually a Paralympic sport, and really had a good time doing that as well. Golf was always something that I liked doing. I played in high school and wanted to get back into it after my accident, and did, and found a way to do it. Found a way to get back out there and do everything. So now, in 2012, we started a pirate camp for kids with limb loss and disabilities. It's the Never Say Never Pirate Camp. We do it over in Clearwater Sailing Center, and we do it every year in October. We invite families, the whole family. Anyone that has a child with any kind of disability, limb loss, we invite their whole family to come and have a great time at the Sailing Center. We put them up in the hotel. We fly them in if they need to be. We do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's usually how I sail at the Sailing Center with 7 to 10 kids on the boat. As you can see, a lot of them are missing limbs, but having a great time. They're with their other people that are like them, and also all the other siblings, you know, that may not have a disability or a limb loss are there as well, doing all the activities. We sail, we kayak, we paddleboard, and we do a lot of land activities, art. But we always go out to the islands, and we do a pirate theme, of course. So we have to dress up like pirates Saturday night. We have a huge pirate party. Everyone gets involved, and we give out awards to every single participant that was there at the camp. We started with 12 kids, and now we are up to over 100. So I want to leave you with this. What can you do right now, or tomorrow, or any day, when you're not feeling too good, when you're not having a great day. Every day above ground may not be a good one, but it's certainly better than the alternative. Make it the best, live your life, and don't pass up any good opportunities. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.